Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Unity Center of West Lynn. My name is Jan Carruthers, and I am your guest. I am your service assistant today. And I am totally happy this 2 days after Christmas to welcome you. And we bless each and every one of you today and always. In Unity, we believe that each of us dwells in the Spirit. And each of us is here today by divine appointment. The Unity Center of West Lynn is a ministry where people of all ages, backgrounds, and beliefs celebrate the one common spiritual thread that lives in every heart. And if you're new to Unity Center of West Lynn, or Unity entirely, we invite you to visit our website, www.worldhealing.org. Our guest speaker today is Reverend Jody Stevenson, and I'm thrilled to welcome her. She is from Colorado, and you'll be hearing her in a few minutes. But as we begin this service today, let's close our eyes and let's come to our very center. And remember that there's only one life. There's only one divine mind, heart, spirit, in which we all live and move and have our being. And we know that this is the day. This is the day. This is the day the Lord has made. This is the day when things are possible. This is the day we get to celebrate our oneness with the divine. And I speak my word this moment for every person who is here online, on Zoom, on YouTube, and in our hearts, people who are members of our community and people who are gathered in every corner of planet Earth, also reaching, seeking, and knowing that there is no separation between us and God. And so it is, and welcome. We have a spiritual reading today from Unity, the Advent series, because after Advent are the 12 days of Christmas. And so on December 27th, we have the message strength, stability, courage, tenacity. Spiritual strength is our capacity to stand undaunted in the midst of unpredictable circumstances, to act courageously, to stay the course. God is our strength. Therefore, we are strong. We are strong enough to withstand winds of change and shifting tides. It is not as if we are immune to challenging conditions. We sometimes feel weak or helpless. And when we falter, we're bolstered by the strength we have cultivated through spiritual practice. God is my strength, we say. When it seems as though the rug has been pulled out from under us, or when fulfillment of our desires seem to be taking forever, we call upon our divine, innate, divine strength. Pay attention to your feelings of need for greater stability, courage, or tenacity. Affirm with me, by the light of strength, I stand steady in the midst of shifting circumstances. I'm courageous and tenacious. The bows of the mighty are broken, but the feeble gird on strength. 1 Samuel 2 and 4. So we begin with some music.
It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle. I saw Santa fly across the sky. A magic season so simple, when seen through the eyes of a child. Silver sleigh bells ring and jingle. I hear reindeer upon the roof. Snow falling soft and silent. There's a ring around the moon. I believe, I believe, I believe. It's the present tied up with a ribbon underneath the Christmas tree. Evergreen and everlasting, a gift to give and receive. Feel the warmth of the roaring fire. See the twinkle of colored lights. The miracle of joy and comfort, knowing it's a wonderful life. I believe, I believe, I believe. It's the babe away in a manger. It's the story of teachers and kings, a journey of faith for many, the spark of awakening. It's the music inspired by angels. It's a voice that will ease suffering, a song I sing for all souls. It is a prayer of peace. I believe, I believe, I believe.
I love that. I want to introduce Reverend Jody Stevenson to those of you who don't know her. She has been in the ministry with Church of Religious Science, Center for Spiritual Living since 1987. She's ordained and she lives now in the Denver, Boulder area. And she came to be the senior minister for the Portland Church of Religious Science in 1987, which is when we met. I had the honor of serving on their board. We hired her. She came to church in October of 1987, and we have been the closest of friends ever since. And then she had the good fortune, bad fortune for us to move to Colorado about 10 years ago, where she served as a senior minister for the church in Colorado Springs and has founded many churches. She's written books, and she's a good friend of ours because whenever she came to Portland, we would have her in person. And so today from Boulder Valley, Reverend Jody Stevenson.
Greetings, everyone. I am so happy to be here with you on this very last Sunday of 2020. I wish I was there to give you all big hugs and care and share with you and for you, but thank God for Zoom, right? So, last Sunday of a year that I truly believe will be of great fascination for historians 100 years from now. They're going to look back and talk about and study what we are doing right now. And I thought the only philosophical factor topic that we could even discuss today is something that is very misunderstood in America and in the Western mind. And in fact, the Western mind has given this topic a bad rap. In fact, this topic, this aspect of a philosophy that I want to talk with you about today, comes from ancient wisdom, from the shamans, from the yogis, from the mystics, from the sages thousands and thousands of years ago. But before I tell you what I want to talk with you about, I want to show you something. This came across my desk the other day. Now, if I were on stage, we would be doing this so differently. But this is what came across. January 1, 2020 December 31st, 2020. And I looked at it and I thought, well, that's interesting. Just interesting. But that night at 3:33, and that's when the divine wakes me up to meditate. And sometimes I will have these discussions with the divine, like, can you come and get me at 8 instead of 3:33? But when I wake up at that time, I know I'm supposed to go and meditate. And this came up like a neon light in my mind. What I realized is it's not the dates that I wanted to focus on, it was the dash. The dash. Now, I get that 2020 for some people looks like this. I've heard people say, I just want to get rid of the whole thing. I just want to exit out of my experience. And certainly there's lots of reasons for that to happen. So much chaos actually in the world. But I think that when we have a big X over the dash, because the dash represents all the life that's happened in our lives, when we have a big X over it, we also have an opportunity for some healing. Ultimately, what we want is a big heart. We want to be able to look back on 2020 and say, it was truly an amazing year. Not good, not bad, not right, not wrong, but amazing. But more importantly, we're getting ready to celebrate this January 1, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. So what I want to talk with you about today is the subject of karma. So often I hear, especially Americans go, well, that situation happened and that was just bad karma. So karma is perceived as a concept, as an energy that is negative in America, and that's simply not true. It's neither negative or positive. It just is. And it is indeed the concept of karma represents the law of cause and effect. Dr. Ernest Holmes writes, karma is the law of cause and effect, the compassionate dynamic through which we learn to create responsibly. It's neither good or bad. And when we choose the cause, that choice includes our choice of an effect. Things that the individual sets in motion through the law ultimately swings back to the thinker. So, when we look to 2021, let us set in motion the absolute natural way of living, which is to live and move and have our very being in harmony. And my wish for each of us is harmony is one of our intentions for 2021. Harmony is the heartbeat, if you will, of Taoism, the ancient teaching of how to live a natural existence. When we live in harmony, we become aware of nature's patterns. When we live in harmony, we experience greater peace and greater joy. You know, let me state the obvious here. It's so obvious that it's kind of elusive. Life is a process. We live in a world in the third dimensional reality that is continuously evolving. And as we prepare to co create our future in 2021, we can move from chaos to calm, from sorrow to joy, from shame to respect. So the truth is, in 2021, you and I will have love filled, happy moments. And because we're human beings, we're also going to have some tough, clunky moments. It's just going to happen. And to stay in harmony through all of it is to understand that life here on planet Earth is a continuous unfoldment, moment by moment, from the beginning of the dash to the end of the dash. And the dash is what makes up our life from January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. It's all life unfolding in exactly the way it should. 11 years ago, I told the universe that it was time for me to have another dog. I'm a huge dog lover, to the point where I can't even go into the shelters because I'll come home with 37 dogs. I don't trust myself. I love dogs. So I put it out to the universe 11 years ago that I wanted a dog. It was time. And the dog had to have four things: it had to be soft, it had to have a beautiful face, it had to be codependent, and it had to be kinesthetic. Well, it didn't take long, and my Dewey just waltzed into my life. And so for 11 years, we played, we ran fields, we walked, we hiked, we traveled, we did all kinds of things together. And every morning, so he would sleep on my bed. I know some of you might be rolling your eyes like, oh my God, but I'm one of those people. He would be on the edge of my bed, and I would get up and I would go bathe and get dressed. And then I would come in. Oh, by the way, he was a black English cocker, and cocker have big, long, thick ears, which is just, they're so beautiful. So he would be sleeping on the edge of my bed in the morning. And when I came in, I was getting ready for my day. I would lift up his ear and I would say, I love Dewey. I love Dewey. And he would wiggle and we'd kind of have this moment. His little tail would go and I would kiss him. And that was just the sweetest little ritual that we created 11 years ago. Well, a week and a half ago, it came time for him to go to the spirit world. And so the vet came to the house. We had his bed in the middle of the living room and we had an altar set up all around him. And the vet gave him a shot. And she said, this is going to make him feel better for the first time in months. And so then he lay down and he was to get one more shot. So just as she was putting the second shot in, I lifted up his ears and I was holding his head. So I lifted up his ears and I said, I love Dewey. I love Dewey. And he took his last breath. Now, was that a bad moment? Not at all. Was it a sad moment? Holy Toledo, let me tell you how sad we all were. But it wasn't bad. We don't have good and bad moments. We have experiences through which we feel different feelings. So as we design 2021, let us do so consciously and mindfully and joyfully. It's really all up to us because we are co-creating our karma, the law of cause and effect, with this dynamic force that we live and move and have our very being in. How do we do that? It's all in our thinking. Karma is created from our thinking. Lao Tzu, the great sage from Taoism, once wrote, "Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny." So besides being a religious science minister, I am also a certified timeline counselor, and it's the part of my career where I've seen the most miracles in people's lives. In the last 25 years, I've designed different questions to help people complete the year that we're moving out of and welcome the new year as we move in. And I call them karma questions. If you are interested in them, please send me an email, jody@dailyspiritualpractice.com, and I will send you a copy of them. For those of you who know me, you know that I am adamant about taking 9 minutes a day and hanging out with the source of our being through affirmations, visioning, reading, journaling, praying, meditating, all the things that we all know to do. And these questions can be part of the 9 minutes. Questions like, looking back on this year, what was the most memorable event? Well, certainly it was helping Dewey go over to the spirit world for me. And then another question is, what was the smartest decision you made in 2020? Well, for me, it was to say yes to the call to be the senior minister at the Center for Spiritual Living in Boulder Valley. Lots of wonderful questions. And then moving forward into 2021, asking the question, what would make 2021 a banner year for you? What do you most want to accomplish? These are wonderful questions that you can ponder in your quiet times with the divine. Again, I'm at jody@dailyspiritualpractice.com. This is an amazing year coming up. And I believe that as the perception of 2020 was that it was so chaotic, and in many moments it was. I think in 2021, we have an opportunity to kind of smooth out all that. But whatever happens, we know that we can joyfully, evenly, calmly know what Paramahansa Yogananda once said, that you and I are the master of the moments of our lives. I wish you much love, much happiness, and much joy in 2021, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Jody. It's wonderful to pre-record sometimes because you get to hear the talk twice. We have a special request. Jody asked us to play this, and I think it's perfect.
It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's another day under the same sun. It's another day to lean in and claim some. It's another day to be bold, brave, and unafraid. It's another chance to change direction. Move the arrow, course correction. Be an instrument, be the change and move out of the way. So if your glass is half empty, the filling. If it's overflowing, then spill it. Over the mouths that thirst and the souls that hurt. Spill it, spill it, spill it, 'cause I need your heart. We need it open wide. We need you brilliantly beaming, global and knowing goodness from inside. We need a beautiful smile, and we need it right now. 'Cause you're the light of the world, the light of the world, and it's time you're figuring it out. It's time, it's time. timing, and it ain't no use in hiding. This blinding, shining diamond you've been disguising. You're the universe in a static motion. You're the elixir, the magic potion. You're a world that cries for what's behind your eyes. So if your glass is half empty, fill it. If it's overflowing, then spill it. Over the mouths that thirst and the souls that hurt. Spill it, spill it, spill it, 'cause it needs your heart. We need it open wide. We need you brilliantly beaming, glowing and knowing goodness from inside. We need your beautiful smile, and we need it right now. 'Cause you're the light of the world, the light of the world, and it's time you figured it out. It's time, it's time, it's time. It's time, it's time, it's time, it's time, it's time to be true, to be the beautiful you, to let your soul smile through your eyes. Because you're one little light can light 10,000 more. Together we will, together we will. It's time, it's time. It's time, it's time, it's time. Yeah, there's a celebration in the street. Brothers and sisters finally meet. All these orphans under the same sun, same sky. There's a glow on the horizon. Shiva calling, Shakti rising. And there are so many signs, 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 signs. And we need your heart. We need it open wide. We need you brilliantly beaming, glowing, knowing goodness from inside. We need your beautiful smile, and we need it right now. 'Cause you're the light of the world, the light of the world, and it's time you figured it out. It's time, 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 it's time. It's time, 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 break it down. It's time, it's time, it's time, it's time, it's time.
You are the light of the world, and it's time we figured it out. So we have a special video greeting from Unity CEO Jim Blake. We know we are part of Big Unity, but sometimes it's easy to lose track. As a small community out on the West Coast in Wesleyan, Oregon, we are part of a global movement, a global organization, and he speaks to us for an end of the year.
Greetings, Unity friends. I'm Jim Blake, CEO here at Unity Village. Let me start by saying my heart is full this holiday season, full of admiration for you, because I know it has not been an easy year for many of us. I'm also filled with gratitude for each of you and your support of our sacred work through this unusual time. Though we all may sit in the question of what the future holds, we remain steadfast in faith, and our hearts are filled with hope as we look beyond the outer circumstances and stand firm in our vision for a world of order, abundance, and love. We have been touched to hear that so many of the Unity spiritual resources has served you well as we all navigated this unfamiliar territory. This year, the Unity teachings about healing, prayer, prosperity, and inner peace have seemed more useful and relevant than ever. At Christmas, we take time to celebrate the birth of the Master Teacher Jesus, who came to show us all through his teachings and actions how each of us were born to express our divinity on this earth. Times were difficult in Jesus' day too, and yet we saw in him that it's possible to live from a consciousness of compassion, peace, and love, no matter what. This holiday season looks and feels quite a bit different than most years. We may not be able to be with our loved ones as usual, and we may need to stay at home a bit more, but the meaning of Christmas is still the same. The divine was born and lives in you. No matter your circumstances this year, I wish for your every happiness. May you find the spirit of Christmas in and around you. May it bring you peace and hope as we move into this new year. Bless you and thank you. Namaste.
I want to just put a plug in for the unity.org website. Anybody can go on it. It's filled with wonderful resources, videos, writings, articles, ideas, even a little humor, and of course, silent unity. So at this point, as we celebrate the joy of giving and receiving, and what we've really discovered is that the moments now that we can give and receive. We look into our own lives and appreciate the gifts of spirit. And each month, Unity has a theme, and we've been using the December 2020 theme is plenty. I have plenty. Plenty is enough. Plenty is enough to share. In every service, there's always a space for an offering because it is an expression of our gratitude for our goodness, for our health, for our abundance, for the Unity Center as a source of spiritual inspiration and support in our lives. We ask ourselves, from our plenty, can I share? From my faith and my wholeness. So, as members of the community, we're giving back to the universe in ways that this community has transformed into service. Our time, our finances, our love, food from the heart, individual sharing, Toy Day that we celebrated just this last couple of weeks. Our giving is an act of creation. And so, as you see, there's no basket, but there are good ways to give. From the website, there's a donation button online or by check through the wonderful services of our mail system. And special thanks to the intentional givers who give every month automatically. Every single gift is important. And so I give thanks, and we bring up the slide that together we say the blessing. God's love in me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. Thank you, every one of you, for your many, many gifts of vision and intention. So 3 announcements here, important announcements. First of them is thank you very much to Reverend Victoria Etchemendy, the founder of the Unity Center here, for leading a lovely candlelight service on Christmas Eve on the 23rd. And our wonderful, brilliant singer, musician, and longtime music director, Layla Murphy. In over 30 years, we've had many different kinds of candlelight services. Sometimes they've been iced out, sometimes they've been hugely attended in person, but there's never been one like this. So the audience was 7 wonderful souls, and we did record the service, and it was terrific. And so you can go on YouTube, and the Zoom recording was not as effective. And we did a second video simultaneously, and that's up now. And I think that you will appreciate it. So you can celebrate the Festival of the Renewing of the Light on, again, under Wesleyan Unity Center on YouTube. Second, and even more important, very important congregational town hall meeting. That's part 2 of our town hall meeting to occur next Sunday, January 3rd. Please attend. Lots of important things to discuss as we confer together and shape our vision and our future. Every voice is important. And as Reverend Jody mentioned today, let's build on this extraordinary, amazing past year, filled with chaos and challenge and grief. Let's build 2021 into a dash worth living. How about that? We're a spiritual community. Let's be leaders together. And as we used to say, be there or be square. Now, the following week, a new book study and discussion group will begin. So go on the newsletter to get the name of the book, and we will give you the Zoom link for joining. It's going to be, the discussion group's going to be led by Marilee Payne. And the next book we're choosing to read, study, and discuss will be the book of Ho'oponopono, available from Amazon and Powell's Books by Luke Bowden, Natalie Bowden Lamboy, and Jean Graciette. You'll find out that all in the newsletter. This comes from the Hawaiian culture, spiritual culture, and the teachings are very much in alignment with unity and backed by quantum physics. It teaches you to cleanse your consciousness of negative memories, unconscious fears, and dysfunctional programming, and grant yourself forgiveness, peace, and love. Sounds like a good course of studies for the beginning of the new year. The book studies will be running for 5 Sundays from January 10th, in other words, the Sunday after the congregational meeting, through February 7th, 12:30 to 2 on Zoom. And you can contact Marilee, again, check the newsletter, or marileeconsult@aol.com. And if you'd like to be seeing us have a specific study group in the future, please let a board member know, or Reverend Julie Applegate. And we're encouraged to have you participate and stay engaged in the Unity Center. So keep checking the newsletter. And now I have a sweet and sad message to deliver, though some of you may know this already. Our dear, sweet friend, longtime community member Cindy Simmons has made her transition. She left planet Earth and into the divine spirit world on Christmas Day. Isn't that appropriate? 93 years full of life right up until the end. We've been missing her these last few months, although once in a while she was able to sign on by telephone. Her mobility has declined, and our many angels in the Unity community have delivered meals, done some yard work, and generally stayed in touch with her. And every single time she has expressed her gratitude and more, her love for her entire Unity family. She has been in this congregation for many, many years, a supporter, a volunteer. Reverend Victoria spent some time, quite a lot of time with her over her last days. And at the candlelight service, Victoria reported that at one point on the 23rd, Cindy asked her to please be quiet because I'm talking to God. Her granddaughter's address is available to those of you who would like that. We'll give that address after the service. If you want to stay online, we'll give you her address, or you can get it from Sharon online. We would just love to have you be in touch with her granddaughter, who is taking a lot of care of Cindy over time. So we bless her. We know who she is. She has always been spirit in our midst, as we all are. So as we'd like to close now, we thank Reverend Jody for a thoughtful, engaging, inspiring, and rather provocative message. It's the last Sunday of the year. Let's be responsible for all the moments of our life. Allow ourselves grief, allow ourselves joy, and be masters of our karma. As we move through the winter holidays, let's just continue to dwell in the spirit of the holidays. Faith, love, peace, and joy. Those are the qualities of Advent, and we are here in this time looking with thoughtfulness. Next Sunday, please join us for Reverend Julie Applegate, who will be doing a creative digital Zoom form of burning bowl. And then again, afterwards, be sure and be there 11:45 for our Sunday meeting. We're going to formally close this service as we do with our candles, just to look for ourselves at the light of spirit, the light of God, the light of our lives, and that you are the light of the world. And at this moment, we blow out our candles symbolically, but we know the light never goes out. Why? Because we are the light and we let it shine through us. Together, let's say the prayer of transformation and say it with all your heart and know that the light of God is in us. The love of God moves through us. The power of God transforms us. The presence of God is who we are. Wherever we go, God is, and all is well. Thank you so much for your support and participation. We bless our global family with radiant health, peace of mind, and abundant love. Let us all reach out this week in the spirit of unity and have a safe and beautiful and healing and joyful week, minding every moment of our life at this time. Remember, and sending with in the spirit of Cindy Simmons too, let us just remember to be beautiful and kind and loving. Thank you.